I mean, look at that. That's ridiculous.
That is exciting. Whew, that's what it's all about.
This should be illegal. It's so much fun. Woo! A couple years ago, I came up to northern British Columbia and hunted with Ron Steffi and Moose Valley Outfitters, and I hunted Canada moose and mountain goat and took really nice trophies of both species. So I'd been wanting to get back up here, and it was pretty neat this time. Magnum Hunt Club member and good friend Larry Can decided that he'd come up with me, and Larry was going to do moose and goat, and then I thought I'd just concentrate on a moose. All right, the deal we've got here is we have to drive about 225 miles on a gravel road, and it's all for log trucks and gold trucks, and it's basically one lane. So you got to have a radio, and every couple of kilometers you call out to let somebody know you're going north or south. I did this drive 2 years ago in the dark with no radio, and it was one of the scariest 6 hours of my life. So today we have a radio and it's daylight. It should be a little up 8.2, getting on the causeway. Hope they can understand my accent up here.
No, it's just the two loaded down there at 33 there. Okay, thank you.
Good. It's not
1:30 in the morning.
good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey, Larry.
Hey, good
Glad
to meet you.
you.
Good to meet you.
Yeah. Good to meet
There's
you.
the main man.
Good to see you.
This is
Hey,
Larry.
this is Larry.
Good to meet you.
Yeah. So how was the trip up the road?
Good.
Good.
Good. Not bad at all. It's not bad when you see.
This is supposed to be our last good day, and then 5 days of rain and snow.
Nice.
This week, Tim's taking us to northern British Columbia for a Canada moose hunt. Tim, I know there's this debate about whether the last part of September or the first part of October is better for moose rut. What did you find?
I've been up there with the same folks a couple years in a row, and I've hunted the whole time period. I really think any time between September 15th and about the 20th of October, you can hit the moose rut, but there are a lot of factors there. You got to look at the moon. Weather conditions play a big part of it, but I do know if you go to a good area with a quality outfitter, whenever during that time period, you've got a great chance to take a trophy bull moose. I'm using a muzzleloader on this hunt, and I tell you, I've switched over and I'm using Blackhorn 209 powder these days, and the main reason is I've found no matter the difference in elevation, I only live at like 900 feet in Kentucky, the difference in elevation or the difference in humidity going out west or whatever with this 209, it doesn't affect anything. It doesn't retain any moisture. The granules are made almost like straws. They burn on the inside and the outside. It burns real quick, real clean. So to travel and go to different places, it's the bomb. Moose Valley is just such a unique place. Number one, it is so remote. It's basically the end of the road in British Columbia, and then you jump off on horses from then on. But Ron and the Steffis are really unique folks also. I mean, they've come from Michigan 27 years ago. They basically homesteaded out here, built everything by hand, and it's like jumping back in time. I mean, Ron is the closest thing to a real mountain man that I've ever come in contact with.
We're living up here year-round in our guiding area. Our nearest neighbors are about 130 miles from us. And lots of years we've only gotten out to town once or twice a year to pick up supplies. So we know our area pretty well and have been here for 26 years now. My boys and I do all of the guiding ourselves. We don't hire any outside help, so we keep it kind of small and family. Hopefully that way we can assure a real quality experience for our guests.
The Zone is brought to you by Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools. Thompson Center, Nikon, Blackhorn 209, DLC Covert Trail Cameras, Under Armour, Lethal Human Scent Elimination, and Bill Jordan's Realtree. Family, friends, and the outdoors. This portion of The Zone is brought to you by Gobble and Grunt Outfitters.
Well, here we go. First morning at Moose Valley. We got snow coming down. You can't see the mountains anymore. It's pretty cold, but maybe that'll kick the old moose in the rut. We are here in the BC wilderness, and we are ready to go chase a moose. BC four-wheel drive right here.
Well, Tim, when we go to northern BC, we always know that we can get any kind of weather in the fall. But this time, you really drew the short straw.
Yeah, you know, a couple years ago, it was sort of every other day. Beautiful sunny days, then a little bit of rain, a little bit of snow. This time, total opposite. 5.5 out of 6 days, rain, sleet, wet snow and fog. It was miserable.
Well, but you know what they always say, better you than me.
Now, the last time I was up at Moose Valley, it was in mid-September. The weather was just beautiful. I mean, we had days in the mid-50s, real pretty sunshine. This is northern Canada, and a lot of bad weather can roll in on you, and we just hit it, I guess, wrong, because we got more than our fair share. Then it started snowing, and it didn't quit. And then day after day, it was just solid rain, wind, snow. You can't control the weather. You've got a window of opportunity that you're in a destination, and you better go hunt and hunt hard. Now, one of the highlights of our days were to be able to pull up under some big evergreens and start a little fire. We get in there and dry our gloves out and huddle around. I'd always be trying to thaw my feet out, and so those little breaks in the middle of the day to eat lunch around a campfire were very welcome and very looked forward to each day. But I tell you, when you ride 14 or 16 miles on horses, going through the pines and firs that are dripping wet and it's pouring rain on you all day, it can zap something out of you. I mean, your mental state is really tested. Obviously, your physical state's tested because you're cold, you're wet. It's just a miserable time to be out in the woods. But you know what? The moose got to be out there in it. They got to make their living and livelihood out there, so you got to get out there and get after them no matter what.
We've got a cow moose spotted up here partially up the hill and some cover. So maybe there's a bull somewhere close. That's our plan. Well, there could be a bull in there anywhere. We don't want to spook him, so yeah. We need to get to where we can kind of look the area over a little bit more. Okay. Trying to stay a little bit hidden behind these trees. Okay. Get a little bit closer. And we'll try to work our way along to where we can kind of look up through. Let's see if there's a bull. Try to find the bull there. Oh. 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 Uh-oh. There's baby.
Tim, I don't know if it's the weather or maybe a little late in the rut, but man, they weren't calling, were they?
No, and I think we did come in and miss the rut just on the back end. Our calls weren't going very far in that weather, but we were seeing cows alone, we were seeing bulls alone, and they just weren't responding to the call. You know, when you're in that situation, you've gone all the way up there, the moose are still there, they gotta make a living. You just gotta work a little bit harder. Get on those horses, cover more ground, and eventually you hope you find the right bull.
There he is. There he is. He's getting up. Put it on his shoulder.
I was always a little different, I think. I always enjoyed, when I was younger, enjoyed watching Davy Crockett and Daniel Boone, and so I wanted to just get out here and live that way if I could. And fortunately, I found the right woman that was willing to do that too. So we found out that we couldn't really buy deeded property and own property back in the mountains anywhere. It's all government-owned land. So the way it worked out, we found out that guiding territory is out in British Columbia. They're bought and sold between individuals, and it's all regulated through the government. And within a guide outfitter's territory, he has a designated area that he can guide non-resident hunters in, and nobody else can guide within that area. And we also found that you could live in a guiding area, so that we thought was the answer. So that's what we did. We bought the guiding territory and then started building cabins, and we've been building ever since, I guess. It seems like every year we've got some kind of project going. We've got at least 11 or 12 cabins back in the mountains in different locations we can go to. Riding when we're hunting, we can go for a day and come to a cabin and have that to stay in overnight. Have the comfort of the cabin if the weather's nasty.
Tim, I know it's always a real unique experience hunting with Ron Steffi and the crew up at Moose Valley.
Yeah, it's like stepping back in time, and Ron's the closest thing there is anymore to a real mountain man. Those folks up there have been a Magnum preferred outfitter forever, and they do a great job. We know when we send somebody up there or go up there ourselves, it's always gonna turn out successful, and that experience is a big part of it. But you know, Magnum member Larry Can, good friend of mine, went up on a cancellation hunt same time I did. He took a 56-inch Boone and Crockett moose and a great mountain goat, all in about 4 days of hunting.
Just saw a big bull over here just inside woodline. So we've piled off the horses. Hopefully he didn't see us. He's not very far. We were just cruising by and I could see him in an opening in the woods. I think his left side is like deformed or something. That right's what I saw when we rode up. I thought he was a whole lot better than he is. Yeah, they must have got damaged in velvet or something because it's going straight back like it bent. Guess we go see if we can find a big one.
Yeah.
There he is. There he is. He's getting up.
Closed captioning provided by Bog Pod, the sticks with the red grips. This portion of the zone is brought to you by the Magnum Hunt Club.
It'd it started snowing, and then it snowed more, and it snowed more, and it was a wet, heavy snow. You know, it was soaking us, all the trees, it was hanging on them, so when you rode by, you were just getting wet. Leaf told me that there was a high meadow on another 45 minutes to an hour ride up the valley, way up in the head of the basin, that he wanted to check. He doesn't get too excited and moving too fast about anything. Leaf's a pretty laid-back guy, and I saw him wheel that horse around and start piling off, and I knew something had to give.
You see a bull? There in front of me. Out in this willow stuff? Yeah, he's just there, 40 yards. Oh gosh. But you don't think he saw you? No, he's just laying there. Didn't see me. We rode up on a bull up here and he's bedded. We're gonna try to slip in and see how we can get a shot at him. Out from these trees. That big dog, yeah. He's just right to the left of it. Holy cow. I'm gonna crank my scope down, and then I'll be ready. And when he stands up, I'm gonna hammer him. Okay, I'm ready whenever.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
There he is. There he is. He's getting up. Put it on his shoulder.
He just fell right there. That's a good looking bull. He didn't go 60 yards. He fell right there. I'm gonna let you have this. I'm gonna reload just in case. If I can feel my hand. Man, that was a pretty bull. Man, 6 days. Crazy weather. Right there. Look at those fronts, man. He is gorgeous. Leaf, this is day 6, and what we've had about 2/3 of a pretty day so far. We started out the first day with wet snow, and then it rained for 4 days, and then you can see what it's doing today. It's just been a tough hunt, and you know, it just happened. I guess that's one of the things, you just got to keep at it and keep going as long as you've got time. And we're riding up to a meadow you wanted to look at, and boom, 40 yards away, there's a bedded bull out in the willows. And let me tell you, after 6 days of rain and riding 15 miles a day, I was ready to pull the trigger on a moose. So, Moose Valley Outfitters, this is 2 times I've been up here, and 2 50-inch Canada moose. My buddy Larry got a Boone and Crockett 55-incher. It just doesn't get a whole lot better for Canada moose hunting than what you guys are putting on, and I appreciate you having us up again, Leaf. And as last time, it was great hunting with you.
Boy, Tim, it didn't take you long to field judge that one, did it?
No, I wasn't going to look all day at a moose like that, especially after the tough conditions we'd had.
Yeah. You know, we always say if we're going after a Shiras, a Canada moose, or an Alaska Yukon, we're looking for a 40-inch benchmark, you know, just quickly in the field for Shiras, 50 for Canada, 60 for Alaska Yukon. But it's not all about spread, and this week we're fortunate enough, again, to have Keith Balford from the Boone and Crockett Club with us, shed a little light on field judging moose.
Well, you're right, James. It's not all about spread, but that's the characteristic that, you know, we look for first. But the other factors that go into a score for moose, number 1 is the total number of points over an inch. That does add into the score. There are 2 circumference measurements at the base. But the biggest thing to look for when field judging moose is length and width of palm. You want a nice long palm, a lot of width in between it, and that really adds to the score. And it sure looks like the bull that you took. I mean, he had it all.
Yeah, he was a package deal, and you know, we love to hunt moose every year, wherever that might be, but getting to go to northern BC is just one of my favorite places in the world. The terrain and the scenery is just beyond compare, and taking a great bull like that is just icing on the cake.
2 years in a row with Moose Valley Outfitters, too.
Can't go wrong.
No.
The Zone is brought to you by Firefly, Hunt the Wind, Gobble and Grunt Outfitters, Brownells, OutfittersRating.com, Rax Mineral, and the Magnum Hunt Club. Your adventure is our business.